everyone, I'm Sandie La Nae. Welcome to Psychic Creations. We have a very interesting show for you today. Here in Carson City, we have extraordinary artists. And for the program today, we have a super talented artist who lives right down the street from me. How lucky am I? Please welcome to Psychic Creations, a multi-talented and exceptional artist, my good friend, the awesome Deana Hoover. Yay! Hi!
You can tell we're really friends too because you say my name right.
I say the name right. Isn't that cool?
Yes,
awesome.
cool.
I'll put this down. All right, are you ready for a lot of questions?
I am ready.
Oh, all right. Let's see here. Well, first, can you tell our viewers, are you a native Nevadan?
Arguably. Depends how you define it.
Okay.
I've lived here since I was a wee little tyke. My parents moved here when I was very little, and you know, I've just been here ever since.
Oh, that was a couple years ago.
It was a couple years ago. It was like 53 years ago.
Okay. So you can consider yourself a native.
I would say so.
Nevadan. Sure, you bet. Well, what piqued your interest in becoming an artist?
I actually don't really think I had a choice. It's just like who I am. I always made art. I tried not to be an artist because, you know, you got to do the practical thing. You got to be responsible. And I don't know, there was just so much pressure against it. You know, it was, as I was growing up, it was treated like it was a cute little hobby, but do something real. And through no fault of his own, my brother happens to be like a genius. Go figure. So everybody wanted me to be like him.
Oh.
And I tried to be like him, but guess what? I'm not. So, you know, I finally realized I couldn't be happy being anything else. So,
Okay.
you know, I finally just stepped into my true self.
Sure. So you are a natural, talented artist then?
I always have just done art, and you know, a lot of my training came from not paying attention in math class and drawing instead.
Right.
Which isn't my fault. If the teachers weren't boring, I would have paid attention.
That's right. I agree with you. I agree. Well, have you gone to any schooling or tutoring or?
I had private lessons.
Okay.
So my real education, practical education was in sign language because I thought, you know, that was cool.
Yeah.
It is cool, but it's, you know, again, not really who I am.
Right. Sure.
So in the meantime, I did take private lessons. I also, you know, well, back in the day, went to the library.
Right.
Also, I would rent videos and take online classes and take workshops and, you know,
sure.
everything that you can, any way you can get your hands on it, furthering your education.
Right.
I did it.
Oh, sure.
But I did it, you know, on the weekends or at night or early in the morning before the kids went to school because I still was always trying to do the practical thing.
Sure. Right.
And it's of course ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I didn't know that. I was trying to be responsible and, you know.
Well, the universe just really pulls you back into your talent, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You can't really be happy doing things you're supposed to do if they're not actually what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
If you think you're supposed to do them because the rule book says or because your parents said or because society says. But that's not good. It really needs to come from within, not be what the outside world tells you have to do.
I totally agree with you. Well, what medias have you worked in and are working in now?
If it exists, I've probably tried it.
I like that. Okay.
But so that includes watercolor and gouache. It includes acrylics, oil pastels. I love those things, but you have to narrow it down, you know, so that you can accomplish a few things anyway.
Sure.
So my favorite is oil paint.
Oh, okay.
I also love charcoals and graphite. And I really like ceramics.
Ceramics too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and soft pastels.
No, okay. I like that.
I love all the rest, but those are pretty much the top of the heap.
Wow. Well, that's impressive.
It's very fun.
I can imagine so. Oh my gosh, I like that. What is your favorite medium?
Oil paints.
Oil paints, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing more of those than anything else?
It's always been the core. Ever since I started taking private lessons, that has always been the main thrust. And I think I started taking private lessons in 1984.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've been painting with oil paint since then.
That's awesome because then you have created your own style.
That is interesting because I feel like what happens naturally is you learn all the techniques, you learn what you like, you practice those things, you repeat those things, and your style comes out of it. You don't find it, you don't create it, it just then organically happens.
That's a good point. That's good advice too for those that are wanting to begin a painting class or learn their own style.
I agree. Don't worry about your style will happen.
I like that. That's very, very good advice. Well, what were a lot of your inspirations for your paintings and even your ceramics? Where did they come from?
Well, from nature usually. I mean, other artists as well. I do become inspired by being around creative people.
Oh, sure.
And that doesn't even matter what their type of creativity is. You know, it could be making YouTube videos, it could be writing books, whatever creativity, that just inspires creativity. But really nature. I don't really want to go inside. I don't want to be closed in. I like nature. And that's even true if I'm creating abstracts. It still begins with that inspiration.
Oh, okay, sure.
And, you know, and that's how we're ending up outside much of the time. I'm literally working outside.
And as you can see, we're on location in her beautiful garden and studio right behind us.
And you're going to get to see more of it too.
Yes, you are. That's cool. Well, let me see. Before I ask you the next question, I really want you to let our viewers know about this painting and a very interesting piece of trivia that you told me that a minute ago I didn't even know about.
Well, I didn't know it until I saw this bird.
Okay.
So this was a stormy day at Lake Tahoe. First, I should tell you too, this is actually a canvas that is designed to be painted around. So a lot of people don't know about these. You intentionally don't frame them so that the painting can continue around, which I thought was appropriate for this.
Okay, sure.
So here was the thing I found out on a stormy, windy day at Lake Tahoe, and that's that seagulls will just sit there and bob around on the water just like a duck will. So that was so intriguing to me. Plus I like, light and reflection, so I painted it. But it's fascinating to me that a lot of people see this and they still think it's a duck because they assume a seagull can't sit on the water like that. I don't know how often they do it. I don't know how often it might have happened and I completely missed it because I was paying attention to something else.
Right.
But this little guy, the water was moving and he's bobbing around, and it was so charming that, I thought, well, little one, you need to make it into a painting. So there he is.
Well, I'm glad you did this because he's pretty cool. And the piece of trivia is very cool. Okay, now on to the question.
Okay.
All right. Have a lot of your creations, paintings, ceramics, have they been in galleries? Have you had shows?
I've had shows and work in galleries. Here in town, you can find work at Artsy Fartsy Art Gallery. The thing about that too is that even if you see it here or you see it online or something, he can bring it in. So if you go in there and talk to him, you can get a hold of it.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. He's done it before. There was something I was painting and it was in a magazine.
Ooh.
And they knew I was local, so they went in and asked him, do you have that painting? And he said, no, but if she still got it, I can get it for you. So,
Oh, Jeffrey Pace at Artsy Fartsy will do that.
Gallery. Artsy Fartsy Art Gallery, yes.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, and I've had my work in an online gallery. Technically, it's still there. Xanadu Art Gallery, which is centered in Arizona. And you can find the work online. But it really needs updating, so I'll do that. I'll make sure that they have all of my new work that you can find.
nice.
So that's mostly, or, you know, and then of course, local shows and
right.
events and, you know.
You will sell your paintings.
There are very few that I won't sell, and that's usually because it's one of my own pets that I painted, and I'm like, oh, I can't sell my pet painting.
Oh, well,
but
sure.
But virtually everything is, you know, if I need to sell them so I can keep painting.
Well, yes, that's a very good point, isn't it? Do you ever do commission work? Like if I wanted you to come paint my producer, I could have you do that?
I could do that, yeah, we could do that.
Nice, very nice. You up for that, Doc?
Yeah, actually, I've had 3
You
done,
have?
portraits done. Yeah.
Well, on a different avenue, do you teach art?
I do. I love teaching art. I have an ongoing class right now at the Brewery Art Center, and I love this class because it's all levels. So people bring whatever they want to paint with or draw with, their own materials, their own subject matter, and everybody comes and works on their own thing, and then I just help everybody as they need it. It's so much fun because instead of everyone doing the exact same thing, which of course can be intimidating and it can also be boring.
Yes, like in high school, you have to all sit in a circle and draw a bowl of fruit or something.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's really boring, and a lot of people are intimidated by that because, you know, if somebody does better, then you feel bad about yourself.
Sure.
Which
That's a good point.
isn't necessary, but that's just how we do it.
Being human, yeah.
Being human, yeah. So the class is every Wednesday. There's 2 sessions, and so people can come in the morning or in the afternoon or all day.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, because everybody's different.
Sure.
It then explores those differences there. You know, the fact that we're all together at different levels with different interests, it's really invigorating, very interesting, and everyone's so positive. The way everyone helps each other and supports each other, it's amazing. I love this class.
That is nice.
I do private lessons too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Those cost a fair bit more, though.
Well, sure. I agree. And why not?
Right. So for most people, the Brewery Art Center is the way to go.
Nice. Well, if somebody like myself were to have a painting party, could we hire you to come in and teach?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay,
Absolutely. And then it could be whatever you wanted it to be, because people want different things for painting parties.
Sure.
And most of the time, then, they do want a subject to paint and step-by-step instruction to paint it while they, you know, drink adult beverages.
Yeah, right. I get that. I like that myself. How fun. Well, do you have ideas or inspirations for upcoming projects or further projects?
Currently, there are a few things in mind. I just finished a big show, and so having just closed the books on that, it is time to really turn the tables and step into the new. And I think what I'm really looking at is palette knife painting. I just love the way it looks on the canvas. I love the loose nature of it. It's very different than what I've done. But that's what I'm really enjoying, as well as delving further into ceramics.
Oh, is that right? Okay, okay. Palette painting?
Palette knife painting.
Palette knife painting.
So you still paint. I have some samples. I'll show you.
Okay.
A couple that I've done from workshops, and then some originals I've done.
Okay. Oh,
When
we
we get
looking
into
at
it,
those.
yeah. But it's so you still would paint on a canvas.
Okay.
But now instead of using a brush, you use a palette knife. You get big, fat, chunky, gorgeous paint. It's a very different effect, and it's much looser, much more impressionistic.
Okay.
And it's just, you know, fun.
Oh, it's just fun. Well, I guess that's all that really matters.
So it really matters.
Let me ask you, being we're sitting here in your beautiful backyard, what is your favorite time of the year to paint?
Fall, you know.
Okay.
Summer's close, because summer you can paint all day and you can paint late into the day, and you know, because my studio is at my house, I can be inspired in the middle of the night and zip out paint.
Right.
I do not want to go out in the middle of the night when it's 10 degrees.
Oh, well, I can understand
Even
that.
though my studio is warm.
All right.
That commute
Yeah.
of 20 steps in the cold,
A little bit cold, huh?
a little cold. But the fall, of course, is so inspiring when the colors change, and we have all these trees, and you know, it's
I know,
just,
it's just beautiful. Her yard is just absolutely gorgeous.
I love it.
Well, outside of palette knife painting, is there any other plans to learn any other media in the future?
I probably I'm okay. I like to say no because you know, there's only so many hours in the day.
Right.
But encaustic painting, have you ever? Well, it's not technically painting. Let me define painting. There's there's a definition of painting,
Okay.
and that means you have covered your surface with color. So you can have a pencil painting.
Okay.
Okay. And that's what I mean when I say encaustic painting, but encaustic is wax, so it's not paint. And I've never tried it, and
Oh.
I look at it and I think and I see these beautiful encaustics that people have done. So that's probably gonna happen.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. Does it look or sound easy?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, but you know, like any art form, it's probably both easy and difficult.
Sure, okay.
You know, so that it's approachable and you can create something your first time out of the gate, but then you start having ideas and that you want to aim for, and that's probably
Okay.
difficult.
Well, that's good advice. Do you have any more advice for our viewers about being an artist?
About being an artist, do it, and don't let anyone tell you not to, and yes, you can make a living.
Good advice, yeah.
Please don't let anyone stop you, and find your art form. There's like a million different kinds of art, a million different types of creation, and if it's quilting or cooking or singing, please just do it. And you are not less important than your children. You are not less important than your boss. You are not less important than your spouse. And all of those things, I know it happens to men too, but it particularly happens to women, that they are supposed to take care of. And you can very easily get put on the back burner of your own life. Your kids will be fine if you make art. Your husband will be fine. Your boss will be fine. Your life is going to be okay. So please just go ahead and do it, because if you only just do your job, which is, there's nothing wrong with your job, but well, there might be. That really depends on what your job is and how it works for you.
Right.
But if you do the thing that you clock in to do that isn't your passion, then what did you come to this life for? To clock in? I don't think so. So that's my 2 cents about that. It might have been about 28 cents. But that's what I have to say about that.
Live your passion.
Live your passion. Please do it. Please try, and have the courage to suck at it for a while.
Hey, we all have to learn and practice to
yeah.
get really good at what we do.
Right.
There's something that Deana has made for me, and I would like to ask her a question about this so she can explain it to you. Spirit paintings. Can you explain to our viewers what you have created for me and, well, for other people?
For other people, yes, I can.
Okay.
So this is taking art in a whole different direction, in a way, because that is a spiritual aspect of art. To me, art is a spiritual thing. It's not just seeing something pretty hanging on the wall. There is nothing wrong with the pretty thing hanging on the wall. But I think all art is more than that. So, well, Thomas Kincaid came to mind, and I'm like, well, maybe not that.
I get that. Yeah.
Let me be judgy. But art can be meditated on. It really, really can help your meditation. It can help you to understand yourself better. Just by standing there and looking at it and waiting, look at it for more than 7 or 8 seconds. And in fact, I would challenge anyone to try looking at a piece of art without talking for 60 seconds.
Okay.
And you can find out how much longer that is than you usually look, and that you start to see things just within 1 minute. So with all that in mind, what we did together, it's an abstract painting or an abstract drawing, but it's done very quickly, very abstract, and then you use that art to interpret things that you would, very much like you would use tarot cards. You are looking for meaning within the art. It can be a little difficult to get until you see it, but it's actually kind of simple. In fact, I'd say it's very simple. But with a non-abstract, you could do it too. By interpreting the images that you see. It's a little harder if there's literal imagery in it, because you already know so many stories that then kind of get in your way. So it's easier with abstract. But yeah, you can use it like you would, just very much like you would use tarot cards. And if anybody wants a little sample of what that looks like, contact me and
I'll get out my picture and show it to you.
there we go. Yeah.
Nice.
Glad you still have it.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's cool. All right, well, let's see here. I know we want to take a look at your beautiful studio, so let's, right off the bat, can you tell our viewers your contact information?
Yes. So you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on my webpage, and I'll give you my email. And all the real critical thing to know is that my name is Deana, and you spell Deana, D-E-A-N-A. Dean with an A. Once you get that, the rest of this is easy. So on Facebook, my Facebook page is Deana's Arts. My email is deanasarts@yahoo.com, and my webpage is deanahoover.com. Get in touch with me through any of those ways. And, if you have questions, comments,
Cool.
Whatever.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, here we are inside of Deana's studio, and she's going to show you some of her beautiful works.
So this is a tiny little studio. In fact, during a tour recently, a woman said to me, "This is too tiny to work in," to which I replied, then don't. But it's not too tiny to work in. It is definitely cozy, but it's all perfect because I have here's my paintings section. I've got my easel, and I even have a spare easel. I've got my paints. I've got everything I need to paint. I've got a little section here for shooting videos, and another desk here for doing, editing and desk work. Mm-hmm. And I've got storage. Mm-hmm. I've got windows. I've got plants. I've got music. What else would I need?
I love it here. Oh, nice. And if you feel comfortable here.
Yes. And it stays plenty warm in the winter and cool in the summer. And I've got, a little backyard there for drinking coffee in the morning. And
that makes it nice.
Yeah, what else would I need?
Yeah. Well, can you show our viewers some of your beautiful paintings?
Well, sure. So this is more along the line, and this one too, along the line of what we've been already talking about. The animals and nature. But we had talked about. And I'll let you get a few photos too, so you can.
Yeah, I'll add those.
Yeah. We had talked about the palette knife painting.
Oh.
So these are examples of that, and this is from a workshop, so it's not original.
Okay.
I copied the work she told me to copy.
Okay.
And this is a sample of what I've been trying to do. So this is brand new work for me. It's not. I'm just learning the technique.
Well, I think you got it down pat.
Thank you.
Boy.
Well, I won't point out what's wrong.
Oh, okay. But look at the texture.
The texture. I love the texture. I love the looseness, the way that, because you can't put it on tight, because you're painting with a knife.
With a knife, sure.
So,
right.
yeah. So, this is what I'm having fun with right now.
Isn't that beautiful?
Thank
my
you.
gosh. I could see why that would fit you. I like that. Yeah. This texture, this palette knife painting, it really looks like you. I mean, all your other beautiful things are too, but this just really kind of fits with you.
Interesting. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Excellent.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so this is where you have your oil paintings and pastels.
Yes.
Okay. And then you also have another studio for Ceramic.
for ceramics. I have outdoor space for ceramics, which I'll show you in a sec here.
Okay.
And yeah, in the winter that's a little tough, but
sure.
we're working on it.
You're working
But
on it.
it's still summer, so I can show you.
That's true. Okay, yeah. Well, viewers, let's move over to her ceramic studio.
So this space is these are my wedging tables. So I prepare my clay right here. And then just right over here, obviously I have umbrellas too, so if it gets too sunny, I can have some shade. I've got a little sink that's perfect for working with ceramics that won't clog because it's not attached to the internal plumbing. So I have water to it that I can just clean up right to here. I have my kiln. I have a full workstation. And I have my pottery wheel right here.
This is, well, you are set up for
I am set up.
This is nice. This is very nice. How often do you create ceramics?
At least once a week.
Really? Oh, okay.
What is really nice is it's covered right now, but this is my sister's wheel, so she and I can work together. And of course, yes, and I also do have a place to barbecue, so.
Well, you need that. You gotta eat sometime, right? Oh, this has been fabulous. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
Just,
let me.
no. So again, back to the idea that I've got everything I need. It's easy to think of what we don't have. None of this existed 10 years ago. So, find the way, find what you do have and make the way with what you do have, and eventually you can end up with, really great stuff.
Well, sure. Your studio's beautiful. This outside ceramic studio is totally efficient. I love this.
I'm loving it too.
Yeah. Well, I just love you being an artist because I've seen many of your works and exquisite and exceptional.
Thank you.
I love that. Deana, thank you so much for this wonderful interview and for teaching our viewers what you do, telling them all about you. I really like it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I always enjoy talking with you.
Oh, I mean with you too. We're good friends.
Yes, we are.
If you would like to be a guest on Psychic Creations, you can contact me at my website. I love the chickens. That's fun. You can contact me at my website, which is www.sandiepsychicstones.com, or my Facebook page, which is Sandie La Nae. And the content of our show is, well, all kinds of things. Music, artists, all kinds of great people. Thank you again for watching Psychic Creations, and we'll see you next show.